This is the DJI Action 3, DJI Action 3 that is. Let's hit the mode on button and show you what the camera looks with factory firmware. Connect to DJI Mimo, update to the latest firmware version, and discover more feature. With an arrow up, confirm. We are able to shoot. Let's shut the camera down by a long press. If we go ahead and hit the quick capture, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, and I'm still going to count. This is not an issue. You had to wait for the camera to shut down. So we're going to hit the quick capture, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, and we are shooting video. We still have the same screen saying connect to DJI Mimo, update to the latest firmware version. In this firmware version, we're going to interrupt the quick capture. We're going to swipe down, go to the gear, go to the very bottom for the camera information. We're going to look for device information, and we're going to look for firmware versions. We have a firmware version of 00.05.02.10, and we have a camera firmware version of 10.00.05.20. Are we on the latest firmware? Does the Mimo app have any firmware to load up? Yes, it does. And right now, before we load firmware, we want to do one major test. We want to make sure we are at 30 meters away. 30 meters away is exactly 11 inches and 5/8, just shy of a foot. So what we can do here is simply go ahead and put some text up. We have text up, and we're going to hit the quick capture, and we are going to be able to read that text information in the font from the phone, the plaque on the wall, and what's on the cup. We should be able to take a picture as is at default from the camera. And we should be able to set a timer. We have here exactly 30 cms, and we are going to place in right on the, and hopefully you should be able to see the background nice and clear and able to read everything indeed, especially on the ruler, as well as over here, if it's in focus or not. This is the DJI Action 3 camera with the earliest firmware and ready to update to the latest firmware. While we are trying to update with the Osmo Action and the Mimo app, it connected and I rejected the software to that camera. So here I have is the Action 3, and I want to connect for this camera, and we are going to have to hit the connect and device connection. Now here we are with 27653D. That is the one I want to connect to. And I need to hit the OK, click on this connect, and go ahead and start my update. I have signed in with a new registered account, so I'm not on my account that has the Betaware for the Action 3. As it's taking its time to work with one another, we are now connected. Open playback to preview your pictures and recording. New firmware available. Tap. And this is the only way you are able to download firmware. This firmware, and let's read it. Added volume control function, high, medium, low, and mute are now available. Speeded up the boot time of the camera. Optimized detection, algorithm, and touch screens to reduce false touches when going in and out of water. Optimize automatic exposure to improve image quality and enhance color performance when used in scenes with low light. Added automatic scene orientation when playing back footage. Optimize the edge distortion of footage when standard dewarp is selected. Improve the compatibility with Android 13 and fix some minor bugs. Download new firmware automatically when connected to Wi-Fi. Now, that is exactly what this firmware is about. And this firmware, what firmware is it? Does it say version 1.01.0440? So we are note currently connecting to the mobile network. Are you sure you want to download? Mobile network, downloading firmware. 50%, it says install. So that means we are 100% ready to install, and the other 50% will transfer back and forth. This is very simple to update your camera. Now, since we are now on the latest firmware updating, will we have that false screen coming up telling you you need to confirm an update each and every time? That becomes quite annoying from a camera company when you want to be on a particular firmware. On the Osmo Action, we never had that problem. We had different firmwares. We had the update here. The update here is manual. It's not automatic. And this is not speaking to one another when this is off. If this is on, it should speak to one another. And we don't want false information transferring back and forth. Firmware on the smartphone is complete. Firmware on the camera is completing. It resets back from 4K to 1080p. I'm closing my app down. We are updated. We're good to go. Now we need to set our camera again back up because it does not remember where it left off at. We're going to take the tape measure again. We're going to hit quick capture, which we did not do before. And man, that went on immediately. And no more the information to update your camera. So we're going to pause the video, which shuts down. We're going to tap the screen. We're going to take a video this particular way. We're going to let it play for 5 seconds. We'll make a video grab of 3 seconds. We're going to go into the photo. We're going to change the photo 16 by 9, and we're going to give it about a 3-second count and take a photo. Now, one thing we didn't look at was in the video, if the video now has changed the dewarp. Priority is off. We can't get into the field of view. Field of view is locked. Now field of view is open. Standard dewarp is what I love to be on. And take a video. We are now signed in to my official account. It wants to join my network of this one. There is new firmware to load. That is the Betaware. Before I load Betaware, I'm going to go have some fun. And while I have some fun with this physical firmware, I have a video that's over an hour long that you're going to enjoy and watch before this Betaware gets loaded. So on that note, I hope you enjoy your camera, that the factory firmware that I shot my video on may be the one that people just simply updated immediately and now has that issue.